Hi, I'm Locke Wilford, and Dublin Chevrolet is proud to sponsor high school football.
Go Crusaders, go Raiders, go Falcons, go Irish, go Chevy.
Call, click, or come by Dublin Chevrolet.
West Lawn's Radio Coaches Show brought to you in part by Dr. Jackson Fordham, DMD. Call for an appointment today. All right, welcome out to West Lawrence High School, where we caught up with Coach Kagan McLean, head coach here for football at West Lawrence High School, and I think everybody knows that. But it's worth mentioning again because it doesn't come without its cost.
Yeah, that's right. You never know when somebody new might be watching.
That's right. But it doesn't come without its cost, Coach. You know, you got a lot on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Each and every week you got your assistant coaches that you have to kind of keep, you know, on the charge, and then you got a team that you got to coach, and you got to win, man.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
Well, I hope it's not all about winning. I guess ultimately that is what defines you, unfortunately, in our society and our culture. But it's a lot of work. You know, when you run a quad A football program, you got close to 100 kids out there. You got hopefully 12 assistants. So we're a little understaffed right now, but we're working on that. And you're running, a varsity football team, a JV football team, a C team with ninth graders on it as well.
Yeah.
You're trying to make sure the middle school's got what they need down there to build a foundation. So, yeah, it can be a time-consuming job for sure.
Yeah, and Coach, when you look at that, so many people are affected by that. The parents and family and fans alike of middle school, of the C team, of the JV team, and of course the varsity. And so when we step back and you look at the competition, you try to find for your middle school, and you look at the competition, especially you try to find for your C team, Coach, and try to build them up and keep those good kids out there, because many of the opportunities you have are either larger schools who have a lot more to pull from for a C team, for a ninth grade team is what we're talking about.
Right.
Or they're going to play up. They're going to play kids that are older, and those kids are going to face kids who've already had a lot of experience. And so you got a lot to work with there. It's a mental thing. It's a real attitude thing. So, I just want to bring that up, Coach, because it's not an easy job. And
it can be tough. It can be, especially you mentioned the C team. Like you said, you hate to send those guys every Thursday to travel an hour away just to play games, so you try to play local people. But, locally, we're the only quad A school around, and so we end up playing some smaller schools' JV teams, which, maybe isn't the best case scenario for those ninth graders, but they get on the field, they get to play, they get experience.
That's right.
And that's the main thing is, I'd rather those guys go out there and get to play, even if they lose, and get out there and get experience on the field rather than being JV backups that ninth grade year.
Yeah, because it's that experience, and they have to keep their eye on the prize. But there again, it's your job to remind that coach and him to remind those players and us to remind the community that that's the goal. Keep your eye on the prize, the ultimate prize. Just like in going through the season, Coach, if you have an injured player and it's a non-region game, we've seen it year in and year out with you, where many other coaches in the past, we can recognize those, would tape them up, put them out there, whatever, and then they got to limp along in the region, and then you wonder why. Why aren't they playing as well? What's going on? Why didn't they heal up? Well, it's a decision you have to make.
Right, yeah, you got to kind of weigh the gains and the losses there in that situation. I know everybody wants to win, and I know it's hard to go through weeks when you're not winning, or it's hard to get those kids motivated if they aren't winning. But I've been a firm believer that, you treat those non-region games like preseason games. You find out who you are as a team. You find out who's going to fit where, what you're good at, what you're not good at, all in preparation for those region games. And we're lucky in our region. We're a 6-team region, which is a normal-sized region. So we get 5 region games and 5 non-region games. Yeah. I know there's some teams that are in those 10-team regions, 11-team regions, and your whole schedule's region. And I hate that because, man, those early games, when you're trying to find out who you are, you're out there playing for something that matters. And it's tough now because, football, you get like a week and a half in pads before you're kicking off, unless you choose to push everything back and cut your off weeks out and not play those 0 weeks. Yeah. But, it can be tough. It can be hairy. But, I've always been a believer you make that decision that if a kid can't go, or he's not full speed, or he's got something that's nagging, you hold him out, you let him get healthy. So when you get to these region games, hopefully you're clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, and it's a good example, ladies and gentlemen, in the community, why I like to bring it up now, because coach and his staff keeps their eye on the prize. They keep their eye on the ultimate goal, and that's to be as successful as you possibly can. And that's not always 10 games. It's 5 games in this case. It's 5 games. You got to come out where you're in a position to go into the playoffs, and that's what we're looking for this year. Said all that to say, now we had a great game this past week, and then we're going into region play this next week. So it's a real pivotal time. It's a time where you got to be clicking on all cylinders, where you got to learn who you are and who you're not. Right. And stay away from who you're not, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm pleased with our performance in non-region so far. If you asked me at the beginning of the year if I would have took being 4-1 going into region, I said, yeah, I'll take being 4-1. But people forget about that fast if you go 0-5 in region, and our region is so competitive. I mean, we could fall anywhere in that spectrum. I mean, to be honest with you, I think any team. I think Mary Persons, as we've talked about, is probably head and shoulders above everyone right now. They got a real solid team, a lot of guys back, and I think they're up to number 2 in the state rankings in Quad A. Right. So, I think they're the elite cream of the crop in our region. But I think their other 5 teams in that region are all tit for tat. I mean, I think I tell people a lot, anyone in our team, anyone in our region could go 4-1 in region play or 0-5. I don't know a whole lot of teams are going to go 5-0 unless you can pull that big upset off, which could happen. That's why we play the game.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of parity in our region. A lot of teams that are right there equal as far as talent and coaching and ability. Yeah. And you got to bring your best every Friday night.
Yeah, yeah. First of all, we're going to take a break. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got some great footage from last week's game. We want to point out these young men, and we'll be back with Coach McClain in just a moment, so stay tuned.
You wouldn't buy a gallon of milk and immediately pour 70% of it out, would you? Then why would you do that with power for your home? 70% of electricity is lost on the way to your house, making it only 30% efficient. But natural gas is 92% efficient. Electricity is good to power your lights and electronics, but using natural gas for certain appliances is the most cost-effective, energy-efficient, and environmentally friendly mix for your home. Use it, don't lose it. Choose the right energy mix. Choose natural gas.
Hey, I'm Kyle Williams. This is my wife, Allison. These are our 3 children, Luke, Vivian, Finn. I've grew up in Lawrence County. One name you always heard was Jimmy Rogers. As I got older, it was time to build a home. We met with Jimmy Rogers. We had an instant connection.
Mr. Jimmy is like a father figure to us. He helped us through every step of the way, and we really appreciate everything that he did for us.
So we as a family are coming to you now. Please vote Jimmy Rogers for County Commissioner, District 4.
Hello, I am Jimmy Rogers, and I am running for County Commissioner of District 4 of Lawrence County. I'm just asking for your prayers, your support, and your vote on November the 6th, 2018. Please go to the polls and vote Jimmy Rogers, County Commissioner, District 4, and may God bless.
A lot of people don't know that Nationwide Insurance is the largest farm insurer in the country. Example, this tractor. There's multiple ways to cover your equipment. It is replacement cost, actual cash value, insuring the GPS system on it. In addition to tractors, we also cover any implements that you would like to cover. Like this front end loader as a value added to your tractor or on its own. A lot of times, the only way we will insure a farm is if we come to your site. We're gonna walk it, we're gonna talk it, we're gonna find out what you do and what your interests are. We're going to customize it so that you get full benefit with the broadest coverage that's available on the market today. A lot of people find out at the time of a claim that they were not properly covered. That is my worst fear. So we make sure going in that you are covered properly. Don't forget to insure your sprayer. A lot of people say, I rode by and didn't see you at your office. That's because I was probably on a farm.
All right, welcome you back, ladies and gentlemen. Now we turn over the microphone to Coach McClain to cover the highlights.
Yeah, good win for our kids Friday. Really proud of them. Played a really tough, physical team out of Statesboro. Coach Kaiser's doing a great job over there. He used to coach here years ago as an assistant, and he's really getting after it with that program. And those kids were big, physical, came off the ball, and it was just a good win for our guys. Early on, we knew we had to stop their running game, being an old-school wishbone team. Great job, Daniel Dorsey, right there, first series, coming up and stuffing the run off the edge there, turning everything back in, getting in the legs, the big kid making a tackle. We had jumped offside. The first play gave him a 1st and 5, and with this offense, it's tough to stop a 1st and 5. But a great job by Daniel there.
Well, with this offense, you stacking the box, Coach. I mean, everybody's in.
Everybody's in there for sure. Next play, they run a counter. Trent Carr does a great job wrapping up and hanging on, and the cavalry getting there and getting hats around the ball and cleaning it up. But yeah, this offense, they just hit you. They run it, and you stop it 8, 9, 10 times, and they pop one, which is what we saw. But, we told our guys we got to get them on the ground, make them snap it again. They're going to get their yards, but let's keep them out of the end zone, and we did a good job of that. Got a little lucky here. Quarterback runs into his own guy, and Devontae Rules comes up and cleans it up. Had a really good game. He was our defensive alpha raider this week. Was the most productive player and did a really good job for us at inside linebacker. Offensively, I thought the first 2 drives we came out looked really sharp, really smooth. AJ making good reads, good throws, picking up first downs. Nice throw there to Bradley Wilson for a 10, 11-yard gain, picking up a first down. And the first couple drives, we marched it right down the field. Really proud of those guys. We kind of stalled towards the middle of the game, but then picked it up again there at the end when we needed it. Here you see AJ again making good protection checks at the line of scrimmage, getting those offensive linemen in the right spot, stepping up in the pocket, making a nice throw to Brent Carr out on the edge, picking up a big gain deep down into Statesboro territory. Brent Carr had a great game for us, caught several balls, really turned into a good receiver for us this year. Again, AJ working inside the 30. Making another nice read, nice little throw and catch again to Brent Carr, picking up another first down, getting us down in the red zone. I'd like to see touchdowns down the red zone. Came away with a field goal because of a penalty again. We have a habit of having touchdowns called back on penalties. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, when we score touchdowns, we seem to do dumb stuff, to get it called back. Here, tough little run by Dorian, squirts up the middle, just a shoestring tackle away from punching that one in the end zone. And a lot of people think, well, it's a good run. He got down close. It is a good run, but as we see on this series, we end up with a field goal, or if we can just get our knees up and break that last little shoestring tackle, we're in the end zone. Here, E.J. Holmes, nice throw and catch, scores a touchdown, but they call us for a late holding. You see the flag there coming in late on the backside, which is one of those things where, was it a holding? Probably. Did it really affect the play? No, but, that's the things you got to live with. We end up getting another penalty and having to settle for a field goal. Coop jumps in and knocks through a 42-yarder, I think.
Coach, as the season goes along, if you get rid of the hold and the motion calls, you make a lot of difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta get rid of them, don't you?
Absolutely. But good job there by Cam Coop getting us on the board 3-0 early. Again, back on defense, we told our guys it's going to be a trench war. They're a great play by Daniel Lindo, crashing in the B gap there and getting 29 in the backfield. We told our guys it's going to be a battle inside. You're going to have to go to war every single play, and you're going to get knocked around and banged around, and it's just going to be who's tougher at the end of the day. And I thought our kids did a good job. Here they run a little tall sweep up top. The guys do a great job pursuing to the ball, closing off the alley there and getting them for a 1-yard gain. Good job there, pursuit. Devontae Royals again, De'Eric Jackson, all getting out on the edge and making nice plays there. Back on offense around midfield, moving the ball again. That second drive, I thought we did a really good job again early, taking what they gave us in the passing game, hitting 8, 9, 10-yard completions, and keeping those chains moving and marching down the field. Here again, AJ working in Statesboro territory. I thought he did a great job all night making checks to the line with our protection. They gave us several different looks up front, and early on, AJ had plenty of time. A little out and up to Brent Carr, nice catch, getting us down inside the 10-yard line. A good throw and catch there, good protection up front. A lot of times, we only notice those offensive linemen when we're getting sacked, but they did a good job early of protecting AJ. Here we are inside the 10-yard line, got to come away with touchdowns down here. We do a good job the second drive of punching it in. But, early on, I'd have loved to have that first one. 14-0's a lot better than 10-0. But good job here. AJ making a nice read, pulling it, and then tossing it out on the RPO to E.J. Holmes for an easy touchdown. A really good play there by AJ. Exactly how you draw it up, right?
Yeah, and it's so good to have him back.
Absolutely. Yeah, EJ looked good. We didn't play him as much defensively, just wanted to give him another week. As region play comes up, I knew they weren't going to throw the ball much, so I felt like we could survive with a backup corner in there, and Andrew Green stepped in, did a good job for us. Here they pop us early with a counter, fit up good, but then one unblocked guy doesn't make a play, and now he's off to the races. But this is one of those things we preach, good hustle by Daniel Dorsey and Shante Burney and Andrew Green, all to get him down on the ground. We teach, hey, when they break, man, get them on the ground, make them snap it again. You never know what could happen. And our kids did a good job there, and we ended up holding them, keeping points off the board in this drive, even though they're 1st and 10 inside the 20. Here they run it up the gut. Nice job wadding it up inside, gang tackling. A lot of hats around the ball all night. I was proud of that from our defensive guys. They really did a good job swarming to the ball and gang tackling those guys. Here they got Big 40 in at running back. He's a D lineman, linebacker for them. We're fortunate to come in and hit him right on the ball. He coughs it up, and we're able to fall on it to end that drive. And that's a great job by our defense after a busting on a big run and coming up and getting a big stop for us, getting the ball back to the offense. Here again, our offense starting deep in their own territory. Statesboro was able to kind of flip the field on us, after that big run, but our offense did a good job of moving it, getting some first downs, and helping put them back on their side of the field at times during the game. Good tough run by Dorian Edmond there on the outside. Good blocking on the perimeter too by the receivers. A lot of times that's overlooked, but we need those guys to block. Here's Statesboro starting back on offense on their side of the 50, but close to midfield. Running the counter play again. Great job, Devontae Royals getting in there, hitting them for a 1-yard gain. We told our kids, look, they got some big, tough running backs. You meet them in the hole, let's get in those legs, let's get them on the ground because they're strong. You get them up high. We're undersized on defense, but we play hard. So we got to take advantage of leverage and stay low, and Devontae did a great job there. Little boot pass here. Daniel reads it nice, drops underneath the out route, gets a big interception for us and a nice return to set our offense with a 1st and 10 inside the 35-yard line. A lot of times you don't show a lot of special teams on these highlights. I thought Cam did a great job. Good example here, we're punting deep in their territory, and he does a nice job of pinning them down inside the 15-yard line. And anytime you can make any offense, but especially one that's run-based, have to drive 85 on you to score, I think your chances are pretty good. Yeah. But good job by Cam in the kicking game.
Yeah, and a lot of times that's going in the end zone. So.
Right, absolutely. Again, little off-tackle run. Great job by our guys. You see 10 hats around the ball right there, all getting in that mix and wadded up. And I told them, I said, look, there's going to be a lot of plays where it's just going to be a massive humanity inside, and you just going to have to throw your body in there and blow it up. And our guys bought into that, and they did that, and I was really, really proud of them. Other than about 3 runs, we did a great job stuffing them. Again, another off-tackle run. Spencer Dacus in there, Xavier Lewis in there. You see several of our guys. Just hard to identify some of these tackles. We had so many guys in that pile, which is a good thing. Defensively, I love it. Setting them up for a 3rd and 6, and that's not what they're built for. And I told them, I said, we have to win 1st down. We have to make it 2nd and 8, 3rd and 6. If we can do that, I felt like we got a chance. We force them to throw something they're not comfortable with. Devontae comes off the edge. Devontae Royals gets a big sack, pinning them back at the 6-yard line, and a big play, getting them off the field, forcing them to punt.
That's good coaching, too.
I don't know.
When to send them.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, right? Again, here our kids did a good job, I think, of recognizing formations and calling out plays and knowing what they're going to run. We know in certain sets that we're going to run toss or counter. Here we got an unblocked linebacker on the edge, and he just misses a tackle. And, sometimes when you deal with kids, that happens. But we tell them, look, as we preach, man, all right, he's busted. Now let's swarm. Let's take good pursuit angles. Let's get him on the ground. Let's make him snap the ball again. Let's don't just give up on the play. Yeah. And they did a good job. Trent Carr comes up here, makes a nice read on the play, and he's there to make the play, and he gets in the kid's legs, but is just unable to hang on. And sometimes that happens. That's part of football. These kids are out there playing hard and giving it their all, and sometimes they make mistakes like we do. But excellent job pursuing, getting them on the ground. Again, big series here. They've crossed the 50. We got to bow our necks a little bit. Good job here running the counter. Again, our guys blowing it up inside. J.D. Jones does a great job of making it bounce, and then our guys swarming to it, getting a tackle for a loss. And you don't get a lot of those in that wishbone offense. Everything's so downhill. But we did have several tackles for loss, and that means our front line's doing a good job, and we're making things bounce. Here we got them spread out, something, again, they're not comfortable doing. They try and throw it over the middle. McKinley Kemp comes up, makes a nice hit on an overthrown ball to force a 4th down and force them to punt. So even after the big run, we were able to bow our necks a little bit, make a stop. After the punt, they pin us deep. A good job by our offense, moving it out, getting some breathing room here, and letting us punt. One thing you never want to do is punt out of that end zone. That makes you nervous. But we're able to get a couple nice, tough runs here, putting our head down, moving the ball out across the 10, out towards the 15-yard line. Here you see we just get the ball stripped from us. Dorian Edmonds running the ball hard. They stack him up. Their kid comes in, makes a great play, just strips the ball from him, sets them up on a 1st and goal from the 12. Dorian ran the ball hard for us all night. Just got to learn to cover that thing up and not let them take it from him. So our defense has to bow their neck here, and we got to force them to kick a field goal. They go off tackle. We do a good job. Derek Jackson getting in there, making a nice tackle. Unfortunately, they got second and about 8 here, which is what we wanted. But we bust here. One of our linebackers misreads his key, and they catch us on the counter, and it's open here in just a second. Big 40 pops it up the gut, and that's the thing with this offense. It's like option football. One guy misses his assignment, and there's going to be a hole.
All right, Coach, that's about halfway through, and being halftime, we'll catch our breath for a moment and be back with more highlights during the West Lawrence Raider Coaches Show with Coach Kagan McLean in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Chuck Harwell from Community Bank, and I would like to remind you that we're here to help you with all your financial needs. We can help you with loans for almost everything from getting married, buying your first car, getting ready for a new baby, buying a house, or going to college. You see, we're the bank that lives up to our name, Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County. We're Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County, where common sense banking never goes out of style.
Fairview Fitness Center, open 24/7 with staffed hours available every day. Fairview Fitness Center, serving our community for over 30 years. Push your fitness further with our gym facilities, fitness classes, freestyle areas, and more. Join today and see the benefits of a healthy life. All new members are provided with a complete health assessment upon request, and new members are provided with a fitness orientation to familiarize themselves with exercise equipment, all by one of our staff exercise physiologists. For more information, call 353-1900. Visit us at 200 Industrial Boulevard behind Fairview Hospital, or log on to fairviewfitness.com.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
The City of Dublin's Natural Gas Department is offering a $1,000 rebate on the purchase of a natural gas, stove, furnace and tank or tankless water heater for new construction homes or if you're remodeling your home. Individual rebates include natural gas tankless, up to $400 rebate and free gas service installation. Natural gas tank, free 40-gallon or $200 rebate on other sizes, free gas service installation. Natural gas furnace, $200 rebate. Natural gas stove, $100 rebate. Natural gas dryer, $100 rebate. Natural gas grill, $100 rebate. Natural gas logs, $100 rebate. Maximum yearly rebate? No maximum. Save now. Save later. Call the City of Dublin Natural Gas at 277-5048.
Back on defense again, there's a point in the middle of the game where I thought they kind of started to wear on us a little bit. We started to get a little, they started leaning on us and picking up a few first downs, but I credit our kids because even though they did, they weren't able to punch it into the end zone. We were able to keep them out, and I think that's great. Here, Daniel Dorsey, who's turned into a weapon for us on kickoff return, gets a nice little return out across the 30. He also had a great tackle on a kickoff coverage later on, but he's really turned into a good, not just defensive player, but special teams player for us as well. Offense did a good job coming out here in the second half, started moving the ball again a little bit, helping us keep Statesboro on the other side of the field. Good screen here to E.J. Holmes, nice blocking up front. Fumbles the ball at the end, but we're lucky to fall on it. Again, just had it stripped. We really preach every day, high and tight and out front with that football. But, sometimes if things happen, and when adversity strikes, you got to sometimes be lucky and be in the right spot, and we were there to recover it. Here, A.J. Mathis again making good checks. They're bringing some pressure off the edge, getting us into a good protection. Nice throw to E.J. over the middle, picking up another first down for us, getting the ball deep in Statesboro territory. Thought A.J. did a good job of that all night. We had a few sacks, but for the most part it was because we were just outmanned at a couple spots, but he did a good job getting us into the right protections. People don't realize there's a lot on that quarterback sometimes to make those calls at the line. A good run here, Dorian Edmonds lowering his hat, running over people, just being physical, churning out yards, and that last second-ditch effort there picked up the first down. So, we preach those guys, man, keep those legs churning. You never know. Just keep driving, keep grinding, and pick up yardage. He did a great job there. Here inside the 20 in the red zone, You're going to see a good run here again by Dorian off tackle, running over people, lowering his head, churning yards, and moving the chains down to about the 12-yard line. Another instance of us in the red zone, need to come away with a touchdown, and we get a touchdown, but we get it called back, and I guess it's not on the highlight. I thought I put it on there. Had a motion penalty by a receiver on the top right when we were running sweep to the left. Again, a small thing, had nothing to do with the play, but we got to fix those little mistakes because, you make those mistakes, they're going to be called. But Coop does a nice job coming in, booting it through, giving us a 13-6 lead, making it a touchdown advantage. A great job by Cam. Great play here, Daniel Dorsey on the kickoff coverage. We sky it up, and it lands right in front of him. And a big hit by Daniel coming down and just staying in his lane and just not decelerating, but just running through the kid. And that's a great play.
Didn't drop his head.
No, kept his head up, put his shoulder. In the NFL, that's probably a penalty because everything's a penalty in the NFL nowadays.
I don't give a
NFL's going to be touch football before too long. Back on defense again, late in the third. Now, I told our guys, I said, look, man, another good job there, getting in the legs, getting a fumble on the ground, and our kids able to recover it there, being in the right spot at the right time, good play defense. Good. I said, a lot of times this offense, you'll stop them early, but late in that third and fourth quarter, some teams just get tired of being banged on all game. But our kids did a good job, I thought, of being physical late in the game as well.
There again, that physicality, that's a reputation you've established, Coach.
We try to
develop.
Man, we preach being physical. Jesse Jones getting some runs, nice little run off tackle. Again, we're driving those legs, keeping the pile moving, and picking up yards and hanging on the football. It was a good job there by Jesse.
Like you had a couple of linemen and they're pushing.
Oh, yeah. We try to preach being physical. I mean, I know what we are here. We're undersized a lot, but we have kids that work hard in the weight room. And, we have to make up for being undersized and a lack of, sometimes overall team speed by just being tough. And I think our kids are, and they've done a good job.
Yeah, man.
AJ here stepping up. Good decision. No one's open. Tucks it or runs, picks up a lot of yardage. We were behind the sticks there, had a holding penalty, backed us way up to a 1st and 20. There's not a lot of good calls in the playbook for 1st and 20. But AJ did a good job there picking about 10 of it back. We stall out. We have to punt, but at least we've got the field flipped a little bit. And then we have a crucial mistake. Cam had a great game, dropped the snap there. Smart just to fall on it, not to let it turn into something more than it could have been.
Yeah.
But, we have a chance to pin them deep, and now they're starting 1st and 10 on our side of the 50, and that's not good, and we don't need that to happen, especially starting the fourth quarter with a 7-point lead. Statesboro is able to drive it down, grind out a few first downs, and they've got us inside the 15, and now it's time for us to bow our necks and try and make a play here. And our kids step up. Good job there. De'Eric, several guys swarming off tackle. Again, 2 to 3 yard gain. J.D. Jones in on the tackle. If we can just keep them to those 2nd and 3rd and longs, I feel like, we're going to be okay. But this was a huge series. Touchdown and extra point here ties the game up. Yeah. And I thought our kids did a great job of getting them into an uncomfortable situation with the 2nd and 3rd and longs. But our kids played hard all night again, running off tackle with a big guy. Great tackle there by Devontae Royals getting there. Bradley Wilson getting in there. He came in the game. Devontae had a little knee injury, and Brad did a great job coming in, had several tackles for us in just 1 quarter of football, and had a big safety at the end as well to seal the deal. But he did a great job there, scraping off tackle, fitting up that big kid, and hanging on. And here we got him 3rd and long, I think. And our guys force him into something they're not good at again, throwing. We get good pressure on them. Great coverage by the secondary, force them out of bounds for no gain. And now they got 4th and 8, and they elect to kick the field goal. And luckily for us, they comes in, he pushes it, pulls it left a little bit, misses the field goal. And just a good stand by our defensive guys, keeping them out of the end zone. When you got a team that grinds it like that and they got 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line, it's tough to keep them out. And our guys did a great job, and that's a win for us, forcing the field goal attempt. Again, late in the game, holding on to a slim lead. I thought our guys did a good job of really stepping up and maintaining that lead for really about 3 quarters of football. Good job inside here. A great tackle, Daniel Dorsey getting in the legs. 40 for them is a big, strong, good-looking runner. So is 7. They had some players over there. And our guys did a good job of playing to our strength, getting low and putting them on the ground.
Yeah, wrapping up those legs, Coach.
Absolutely.
It's so important. Wrap and roll is.
Definitely. Here they're running the sweep again. Great job, big hit coming in there by several guys. Lindo's in on the play. De'Eric Jackson's in on most every play. And Bradley Wilson in there also doing a great job.
And we hadn't mentioned him being back this week in full force in this game.
So. Yeah, he was, definitely. Had a great game. And here's a huge play for us. It's 4th and 2. We're holding on to a slim lead. This is third down, excuse me. It's 3rd and 2. Great job to Eric and Daniel Lindo and Dacus wadding up inside, forcing a 4th and 3. This is really probably the play of the game to me. We're up 7 points. They got a 4th and 3 on our end of the field, and they're going to give it to one of their best players. And a great job here by De'Eric Jackson coming up. I'm sorry, this was 3rd down. I'm sorry. It was 2nd and 3. We stopped them on 2nd, stopped them on 3rd. Great job by Trent Carr and Bradley Wilson getting in there, stuffing Big 40 on the run. Unfortunately, 40 tweaked his knee a little bit and had to come out of the game there, but sets up the 4th and 3 finally. And a great job by De'Eric on this play. We had a tendency when they went single wing, we knew they were off tackle almost 100% of the time. And De'Eric, a very coachable kid, he sees them shift to the single wing. You'll see him start to creep up because he knows it's coming off tackle, and he shoots the gap, gets in the legs, beats a block, and makes a huge tackle on 4th down. And that's just a great individual effort by a kid who wants to win.
And reps that y'all did in practice, Coach. He knew what to do.
Yeah, he's very coachable. He listens. He comes off a little woozy there. His helmet kind of came down and popped him in the nose and came off with a bloody nose. But I told him a 4th down stop with a bloody nose is worth it.
It's worth it, wasn't it?
It is worth it. It is worth it. Definitely worth it. Dorian comes in, gets some big runs here, able again to just run those feet, breaking tackles, moving chains, and just being physical. And that's what we need out of him. Dorian's a great kid. We know he's not the fastest kid, but he's downhill and he runs hard, and that's what we need from him. Here we get him pinned deep. We get him 3rd and long from inside the 5. Great job here. Bradley Wilson sees him leave the pocket. Lindo misses him. Bradley gets in his legs, and we get a grounding call. So he just throws out of bounds with no receiver in the area. And, of course, that's a safety. A big play by number 5, the sophomore Bradley Wilson, to really give us a 2-score lead and in my mind, kind of seal the game for us with 3:27. Good job here, Dorsey, on the free kick, coming in, catching the ball, getting a nice little return, getting to the edge, using his speed a little bit and getting us up around midfield, really setting up the last drive where we put the final touchdown in and can kind of seal it. Offense did a great job here, even though it's a 9.2 score lead. We could put a nail in a coffin with a score. See a couple really good runs here. Dorian Edmonds shooting through the middle, making guys miss, running his feet, running over people, continuing his legs and getting down to the 20. That's just a beautiful run by a kid that works hard in the weight room. Senior for us, has done a great job the last couple of years carrying the load. Last year he was a workhorse. He set a school record last year for most carries in a season. A lot of people look at us and think we throw it all the time. I'm like, man, we had a tailback that set a school record for most carries in a year. Yeah. Obviously, we're running the ball a good bit.
And you can't do it without a line.
Absolutely. Offensive lineman open up holes. Great read by A.J. pulling it. He getting to the edge and, man, just falling just short of the end zone. But A.J. don't like touchdowns, so we're just going to give it to Dorian. Let him score since A.J. didn't want to keep his balance there. But now, great read, great run by A.J. A great job, too, doubling up and protecting the football inside the 5. And then Dorian tops it off, and he deserved it after those hard runs. Churns his legs, gets in the end zone, makes it 22-6, and ices the game for us. Big win for our kids. Super proud of them. Thought they had a great week of practice. Thought they battled all week and got a big win over a quality 5A school.
And we'll wrap up the show today with the highlights. Thanks for watching, and thanks, Coach, for these highlights and highlighting these young men and the efforts this past week. We'll see you at Howard this week as West Lawrence travels to Henderson Field to take on the Howard Huskies. West Lawrence Radio Coaches Show brought to you in part by Dr. Jackson Fordham, DMD. Call for an appointment today. Every team has a leader, and Lawrence County's leader in hometown banking is Farmers State Bank, proudly supporting local high school football. Farmers State Bank salutes those who make our community great by working hard to make Friday night football happen. Best wishes for the 2018 football season. Go Irish, go Falcons, go Crusaders, go Raiders, and count on the team at Farmers State Bank, Lawrence County's leader in hometown banking. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.